Hey friends, my name is Steve Guttenberg and I am the audiophiliac, and I'm going to start with a question. Who do you trust? In audio, how do you find that person or people to trust about audio? What's good? What's not good? What should you stay away from? I don't know. How do you do that? Now, in the olden days, people had dealers, and they had, let's say, if you were an ongoing audiophile, you had a relationship with a dealer, and that was probably the best way because you could hear, you could touch, you could see, you could try at home maybe. It was interactive, as they say, in the 21st century. And then over time, reviewers sort of replaced brick and mortar dealers as the main source of information. But can you trust reviewers? Depends on the reviewer, right? But the thing about reviewers and magazines and websites is they have advertising. They are, so to speak, in bed with their money stream, right? The magazine is not usually supported by the people who read it, but by the people who advertise in it or on it. So maybe they're not the most truthful messengers. Maybe. Let's just go with this premise for now, right? And reviewers, including myself, have relationships with manufacturers who lend them equipment. I do. Equipment comes and goes in my system as situations change. Some of it I own, a lot of it I don't. And that's true for many high-end reviewers, right? But one thing that separates me from a lot of others, at least on this YouTube channel, is there's no advertising on this YouTube channel from audio manufacturers or anybody else, right? It is free if you want it to be. It's free as, anyway. So that's good. So maybe I should be a little more trustworthy. But in the end, it's a flawed system. The audio establishment, audio reviewing establishment, has relationships with manufacturers, and therefore maybe those relationships exert some influence on them, and maybe we readers can't trust them. Okay, so here's my premise. Back to the who do you trust? How about a magazine or website that has no advertising and buys all the equipment they review? There's no loaners at all, ever, right? All the equipment that's reviewed is bought from a dealer, near or far, at full price or whatever, and they keep that equipment as part of their ongoing reference system or systems, right? The writers for this fantasy magazine website are all virgins. They're not people we already know. They have no relationships with manufacturers, so they're all new. They're going to do only blind testing, well, blind and sighted testing. They will do measurements as objective as they can be. So the insights that this magazine / website provides are as unbiased as could possibly be. Okay, how are we going to pay for all of this if there's no advertising, right? Well, you guys, the subscribers, will pay, and will pay dearly for this privilege because you will pay, in this fantasy, $100 a year. And for your $100 a year, you get 6 issues and chock full of really useful, extremely unbiased information. But in order to make this work, we need numbers. So just coming up with a number, pluck it out of the air, it would be 10,000 subscribers worldwide. So 10,000 times 100 is $1 million. So they would have a budget of $1 million a year to buy all the equipment, to pay reviewers who are not part of the establishment, and buy all the test equipment and people who know how to test gear. Sounds perfect, right? Could this actually work? Of course, I would raise a few red flags here. First is, who the hell would be these writers if they're not already part of the establishment? They would know nothing. They would have no biases, but they would have no knowledge. They would have no experience. Could they write? Could they write well? Could they really describe sound if they're not already part of the establishment or the system as it currently exists? I don't know. I really don't know. But it addresses all of those questions that people pose to some people and say you can't trust them because they're chummy, they have advertising, they want to please their yeah, okay, well, here's the way out of all those problems, right? I've solved all of those problems, made everything as above board as possible. This magazine website will serve only the subscribers and no one else. Hey, if you think this is a great idea, run with it. You start the thing, you get your $1 million a year. You could thank me in the first issue, say Steve Guttenberg thought this thing up and we owe it all to him. Well, you know, I'm joking, of course. But it comes down to, could it work? And what would you learn when you review products blind? Would they all start to sound the same, like product A and product B? And pretty much, I couldn't tell the difference. We had a $500 receiver, we had a $10,000 tube. They all sounded alike. So buy the $500 receiver and thank you very much. I really can't see how this would work. But, you know, it's the internet. It's the 21st century. There's new ways of making money, and here's one way to do it. You start the magazine. Maybe it's a Kickstarter to get to that $1 million in a timely manner, to get your $1 million to print your or publish your first issue, and run with it and see how it goes. And I will be waiting eagerly to see how this all plays out. Go for it. It's all yours. It's a brilliant idea of mine, and I'm giving it away for free because I don't want to be biased. Anyway, my name is still Steve Guttenberg. This is the Audiophiliac Daily Show. Comes up daily. Come back often, and I will see you again real soon.